Laurie, let's look back at our VMF experience.
Okay, you freak. Let's go world. Hey guys, so what you'll hear on this episode are our own personal views, and you should do your own research if you're interested in volunteering at the VMF. You can check out the centre's website at vervet.za.org.
So after 2 months of volunteering at the Vervet Monkey Foundation, let's see what we thought the overall must-haves and do's are.
Yeah, so the first thing you'll definitely need a variety of clothing because the weather changes rapidly from day to day. And yeah,
Even during the day.
yeah, so you might wake up and it's like quite cold and you've got like trousers and or leggings and like a top on and a hoodie, and then by 10 a.m. it's roasting. So then you're like in shorts and top again, and then in the evening the temperature drops again, so you're cold and you want cozy clothes and all this sort of stuff. Okay, so the next thing that we suggest is taking like a flask because when it's super hot, you really want to drink something cold, and if you've got the flask, it's able to keep it cool. And also, when it's cold, you sometimes want something hot, so yeah, it'll keep your tea or coffee or whatever warm. So I tried finding like one that I really liked, but I couldn't find one yet. But when I see one that I like, I'm definitely buying it.
Design.
Yeah, and definitely you'll need to take something to hydrate your skin with. So even if you're like, no, I'm gonna be fine. No, the South African sun will dry your skin out. So I would suggest something like coconut oil. That's what I moisturize with, and you can literally get it in any country, anywhere. But even if you take like moisturizers and stuff like that, make sure it's a moisturizer that doesn't have like lots of chemicals that can be like harmful and toxic, because if you won't be allowed to work with the baby monkeys if you use that.
So from a technology standpoint, there's a couple of things you might want to consider, and that's definitely get South African adapters because they have a different socket.
And we forgot.
Surprise!
Yeah, I don't know how that happened, but we did.
Yeah, whatever. And then you might want to consider a power bank if you're staying in the normal cabin because there's no electricity, so you can charge it up in the games room and then bring it down. You will also probably need like a light for the room, and there is actually several things. Like we saw a product that combines those two together. So Ed showed us like in the store there was like an LED light thingy, but it was also a power bank. So
yeah, it looked cool.
It was pretty cool. Another thing you might really want is a bum bag. Or a fanny pack, or what is it called?
I don't know, a waist bag. I don't know, whatever, a traveler's bag, whatever you want to call it.
Is handy because you can store your phone away, keys and all this, yeah. And then gloves, because you might be doing some physical work, helping with the cages or doing lantanas and stuff. So I would bring my own gloves.
Yeah, and you'll also need like a hat to protect yourself from the sun. And believe it or not, a really good thing to take is like a really good pen that you believe in, because the pens in South Africa just decide not to work. And I don't know if it's like they don't know how to make pens, or if it's the sun, or if it's the type of paper or whatever. But yeah, if you've got like a pen that you like, just take it.
Because on integration, you just write down everything, and if
it's really frustrating.
You might be there for 3 hours trying to write stuff down, and if you have a bad pen,
and you're just like taking deep breaths, trying to keep your cool because you're ready to fucking kill the notebook and the pen by the end of it. And then finally, like, you'll definitely need some spending money because there's lots of things to do, lots of places to see, and it's really cool, and you don't want to miss out.
Yeah, and it's also quite expensive, so
yeah, and South Africa is expensive, so yeah, just be prepared because you don't want to go all that way and then not be able to do like the coolest things.
And if you're going there for like a longer period of time, such as 3 months plus, for interns and stuff like that, you will definitely need a SIM card for data, because, you'll need to communicate on the WhatsApp groups and stuff like this all the time. And, you cannot just survive on a Wi-Fi pure. That's the fact. And then also, if you're there long term, you probably should pick up some fitness regime, because you just want to stay fit, and the food is so good there that you might feel like you're overeating a little bit. And
like me. And also like the sun slows you down as well, so like for me, it was kind of like I was slowing down, but I was eating more, so I gained a bit of weight. And I was like, if I was gonna be here longer, I would definitely, definitely like to get back into
Yeah,
running
many
and stuff.
people run there, so it's, you can get into some kind of group. Like one person was doing like yoga
Yeah,
regularly and stuff like that. So awesome.
yeah. So there wasn't a lot that we disliked about the VMF actually. So we're gonna start talking about the cons first.
hmm So as a first con, we already mentioned it, is the placement is overall quite expensive, but South Africa is an expensive country in itself. So if you come for 3 months or longer, you actually get a discounted price, which is pretty cool. But yeah, get ready for that.
Yeah, and the second thing we would mention is that during the dry season, nothing's blooming, so all the trees are bone dry, everything looks the same. Um, yeah, so I would probably like if we manage to get back again, I'd like to go during the wet season, so I
hmm
get to see it being like really lush and really pretty and stuff like that.
So the next thing are the toilets. We don't mind outdoor toilets, but the toilets there are like swarming with flies. So not everyone might be.
Okay with that. Yeah. We found like well, I found a personal toilet hack. So what I would do is you'd go to the toilet, there would be like 500 flies, and then I would just like tear little bits of toilet paper and throw it down the toilet, and they would kind of all swarm out and like fly away, and I would just keep doing that till there was like no flies left. So yeah, that kind of helped me cope with the whole toilet situation because there's no way that I could sit on a
There's like
toilet.
heaps of them.
Yeah. Yeah, and also there was two breakfast slots. So there would be a breakfast slot at 9:30 or 10 a.m. and depending on your shift in the rota, you would be dedicated like a half an hour. And what we found was the majority of people were put to the 10 a.m. slot, and then it was kind of like a car lock. Like what's it called?
Like a gridlock.
Like a gridlock. So you'd be in the kitchen, yeah, but everyone wouldn't be able to do their stuff, and it took ages to cook anything or do anything. So that was like a little bit frustrating. It would be nice if it was more balanced between 9:30 and 10, but I suppose it depends on the rota.
Yeah. And oh, another thing is if you're on mats, you might actually need to feed live mealworms to the monkeys. But obviously, if you say you don't want to do that, it's not a problem at all. But that's one thing we weren't comfortable with, and
Yeah,
we didn't
so
have to do
yeah, I
that.
just said, oh yeah, I don't want to do that. And if anybody new asked me like, oh, can you just give these mealworms to this monkey? I was just like, no, I'm afraid not. Sorry.
Yeah, and it was fine.
On that note, this is all that we really enjoyed.
Yeah, so some pros here. First of all, the workload was actually quite reasonable and enjoyable, especially for the climate. You don't want to like overwork yourself in such a heat. So I think it
Yeah.
was done very well.
Yeah, it was really good. You got like, it felt like you got like extra time all the time to make sure you got everything done and you didn't have to like rush yourself. It was good. Another thing was the staff were really nice and approachable overall, and we never felt that we could not ask about something.
Yeah, as an X point, the monkeys actually make the work so cool. Like, especially the bandits as well. Like, just like working around monkeys all the
Yeah,
time.
and it was really cool,
Yeah,
like the wild ones.
and the education is also great because there's a lot of primatologists working there, and you just learn so much about like primates behaviors and things like that. It's really rewarding in that sense.
And also because like the majority of the people that volunteer at the VMF go for at least like a month or more, so you really get to know who you're working with, and you just make some really nice friends and stuff like that, and it's super cool.
And the next big thing is filtered water is provided, which is obviously really handy. So
Yeah, but the most important thing is that the food is amazing and it all gets made for you. So it's like the best thing, one of the best things there.
yeah, and you get at least a dessert a week, which is
Oh
also
yeah,
is
one
cool.
dessert a week, and sometimes if you're lucky, if it's someone's birthday, like we'll make a cake or something. So it's pretty cool.
Another great point is that you get quite a good Wi-Fi there in the games room, and it's reasonably stable. It was like few times it like kind of was off, but due to weather. But overall, it was really good.
Yeah, it was good. Also, you got all of your washing done for you, so you can put in like one load per week, and Gloria does it, so she
Yeah.
washes it, and you get it back dry and everything, which is super cool.
And one pro is actually is about George. So it was the puppy there. It's he was so adorable, and he would just be playful, and like just it's because you're doing a hands-off work. It's really cool to interact with someone, like some animal there. And
Yeah,
George was
really
the
nice.
animal,
Yeah.
so it was pretty nice.
Another pro is that you get like 1.5 days off per week, and you also get tutoring days. So, for example, if you're there for 8 weeks, you'll get 8 tutoring days on top of your day and a half off per week, which is really handy for like doing trips and stuff. And on weekends, they arrange they organize like a trip. So, if you want to go to it, you can use your half day for that. So, they'll do things like go to waterfalls or go somewhere nearby that's cool, and you only have to pay towards the fuel, so it's not that expensive.
Another great thing is that they're trying to be as environmentally friendly as possible. They are obviously fully vegan. They also try to use many eco products and like do things in an eco way. And they also, majority of their power is coming from solar, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and finally, you're helping a much needed cause in nature conservation in Africa, and the VMF is the place to do it in.
Yeah. So what do you think is the overall conclusion of our experience?
Yeah, if you have the resources, come for as long as you can, as it's a great place to volunteer and live.
So our special thanks and shout out goes to all the amazing people we have met in the VMF. Too many to mention, but here are our unforgettables.
Nico, Prim, Nicholas, Yuval,
Ed, Adrian, Sebastian, Tia,
Rona, Courtney, Oliver, Toby,
Megan, Hannah, Will, Tori,
Gloria, Lucas, John, Sidwell, Goffrey,
and Dave.
Thanks a lot. We miss you already.
Yeah.
If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram by searching Laurie and Jiri Go Wild. We'll be releasing pictures and updates about our travels there. Yeah, and if you have any questions, suggestions, or would just like to say hi, you can personal message us through our Facebook page or by email at ljgowild@gmail.com.
So this is it, guys. Have a lovely day, whatever and whenever you are. Stay inspired, happy and wild. Much love, guys. Bye.
Bye.